How are we doing today, guys? Thank you once again for joining me on Viper 9 Toy Videos. Today, I have kind of a special figure. This one is a 1984 Action Force Kraken made by Palitoy from their Action Man line. So, if you're not familiar with Action Force come out in the early 80s. And what they did, the company Palitoy over in Europe, took their 1/6 scale or 12-inch Action Man figures and scaled them down into a 4-inch action figure, 3.75 actually, to compete against Star Wars. So you had your Star Wars 5 POA figures, and then you had your Action Force 5 POA figures that were roughly the same size. And then after a little while, Action Force grew to get some bad guys. The bad guys were known as the Red Shadows. The Red Shadows had several different characters, but that's when they started adopting G.I. Joe figures. So you had, if you remember back in my Cobra Commander unboxing video for the Hasbro Special Edition 2-pack Cobra Commander with Duke, you could go back and watch it. I had the Red Laser, which was a Cobra Commander painted in all red with this skull and crossbones on his chest. What the Kraken is the Kraken was a creature that they found frozen in like the polar ice caps. The Baron Ironblood defrosted it, cloned it, and this became his evil horde, basically. This one here does unfortunately have a little bit of a bubble crunch, but let's face it, he is super old and he's had a long travel. On the back of the card, you can see a lot of the other Action Force figures. So you've got more of the 5 POA Action Force. You got Baron Ironblood, you got Black Major, you have their Escape armor, which if you're a G.I. Joe fan, you notice that as just the Cobra Snake. You've got your Z-Force, your SAS, your Space Force, your Q-Force. Just a lot of really cool 5 points of articulation figures with this company. This card back is in, I believe it's 2 language, and it's French, and I honestly don't know what the other one is. If you can go ahead and let me know or leave a comment, please go ahead and do so. But this type of card here, I fell in love with Action Force about 10, 11 years ago, and I've just been going crazy ever since. So I'm not going to open this guy, but what I do have, obviously, is a loose version here. So if you go ahead and take a look at him, he has a Trident blaster. So a 3-barreled Trident blaster. Then he actually comes with the real soft goods rope net that he can hold in his hand to, you know, trap your divers and everything like that. The 5 points of articulation figure. So he has the 1 articulation point there with the swivel. Then he just has his shoulders right there. And then he just has a standard T-crotch. Nothing real too fancy. You can see he has a sculpted in dive knife right there. Some really nice sculpted in scale designs there. And just a really I'm over it look on his face. But let's face it, if you're a prehistoric being that was frosted out or defrosted from the ice caps and sent off to help conquer the world, you probably would be kind of over it as well. Overall, he's probably one of the coolest Action Force bad guys that they have ever made, just based off the original design of itself. I really, really dig it. If we take a look on the back here, you know, you've got, what, Mouton, the Red Laser, wow, I completely just gaffed that all together. This figure here, I might have to do another video if someone wants to see it on this figure. This is the Skeletron, which was a mail-away figure for the Action Force. He was kind of a robot skeleton that they had. But there you have it. There is a carded example of the Action Force Kraken from Palitoy. Once again, he was 1984 from the UK. Right there, guys, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you for watching.